And we are back, people, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Do You Still Watch Wrestling? I'll be your host, Dashiki Dash. And you know, I've got my partner in crime here, my co-host, Kojo, in the building. What's good?
Come on, I'm good, man. Obviously, my camera's not because it keeps missing about, but I'm good. I'm good. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm feeling it. Hey, man, it's been a hectic evening. Sorry for the delay, guys. It's been a hectic, as you know, World Cup's on, the football's on. It's been fully entertaining tonight. We saw Argentina versus Poland, and then we saw Mexico versus Saudi Arabia, obviously simultaneously going it back to back. And Argentina are through with Poland. Mexico almost making it, but yeah, man, at the end, they didn't make it. And I know that the likes of Rey Mysterio must be pissed right now.
Hey, if you're pissed, deal with your son first, man.
That's just a reference to you wrestling heads out there. You know, obviously, Rey Mysterio is from Mexico. What's good, Kojo, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's been a good weekend. In wrestling-wise, it's been a great weekend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A great weekend and a great Monday as well. Life-wise, everything calm. Can't complain. Work-wise, soon enough.
You can't see me.
You know how it goes. But yeah, man, can't complain. Everything good on your side?
Yeah, man. Same old. Obviously, we're heading towards the back end of this year. So slowly winding down, you know, so we can just enjoy the festivities and then kick back again when we come into the new year. But, you know, before that, like you said, man, wrestling has been good this past week. We're going to be discussing about Survivor Series, War Games. Now, obviously, if you watched episode 2, this is Do You Still Watch Wrestling, episode 3. And we was talking about Survivor Series coming up, but had a small twist to it. So we're very used to the 4-on-4s or 5v5s, Survivor Series traditional, but this time it was War Games with the ring, 2 rings, cage around it. Man, it was a crazy event. And then we're going to be just discussing, giving you a recap. So we'll give you a review of the Survivor Series, and then we're going to go into the recap of Monday Night Raw because there was still some juicy stuff going on on the following day. But yeah, man, let's just jump straight into it. Survivor Series, War Games. Kojo, man, take it away. How did you feel? What was your expectations to going into it? Obviously, we've seen War Games in NXT. We've seen War Games in WCW and all other places. But this time it was in the main roster, a main event being Survivor Series. How did you feel it went?
Oh, man. You know what it is? Because what you mentioned about NXT. When Triple H and the NXT roster, when he was in full control back then, were doing War Games, we were just given excellence. Men and women's matches. It was pure brutality. It was craziness, and the matches were so built. They were built perfectly. Like, you know, you start your matches off so well, and then the surprises come in. I think a couple of years ago, Kevin Owens was a big surprise that came out of nowhere. I'll never forget the look of horror on Adam Cole's face for that one. So I was excited for this one. It delivered. It was a great pay-per-view. I know we'll get into the matches. The women were first, weren't they?
Yeah.
They opened the show. Yeah, they opened the show. And a lot of them actually have experience in War Games as well. In particular, Dakota Kai and Io Sky now. So, yeah, it was very exciting from the beginning. I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. It's going to be really good. And the women delivered as well.
Yeah, how did you let's just jump in straight into how did you feel? Obviously, women opening Survivor Series, and look, man, I'm a very, very big advocate of women in ring and out of the ring performances, and it's once again just showed like doesn't matter what gender you are, if you can perform, you can perform. And wrestling has definitely come a long way in terms of like allowing women to be able to headline just as well as the men. And yeah, man, rightfully so. They kickstarted Survivor Series. What was your take on the teams first and foremost?
Oh, these make sense, which is the most important thing because everything is built around the rivalry, isn't it? So you're talking about I'll go off the heels first, Damage Control. There's obviously three of them. You have Rhea Ripley, who has beef immediately with Mia Yim. That makes sense as well. And regardless, even if she doesn't have beef with Mia Yim, that's someone that's eventually going to challenge Bianca Belair. That's a given. Yeah, she has to. She's too. For me, she's too good not to challenge. You know what I'm saying? And then you've got Nikki Cross, who's just a psychopath. So you've got that. And then on the women's, I know good on what I said good side, the baby faces, if you would.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair, Asuka and Alexa, which something odd is happening with Alexa, but I think we'll get to that.
Yeah.
You have that Mia Yim obviously comes back as well, and she's really good as well. And Becky Lynch, which makes sense because on the night that Damage Control came back, she had that match with Bianca Belair, SummerSlam, and the next night they storyline took her out of commission for the next 4 months. So everything made sense, and that's what War Games should be about. Like, yes, go out there and go to war. As cliche as it sounds, that's literally what it is. You go out there, you go to war against your biggest rivals, and that's what Triple H built. So it all is all logical, and it's also a great comeback story for like your Mia Yims and your Dakotas who were gone, and they've been brought back into the company, and they've been put into such a huge match. That's a lot of responsibility, and boy, I was happy, man.
Now there was a part of me when I saw Becky Lynch obviously come back and she was ready to partake in this, and then watching Survivor Series, I want to ask you a question because
Okay.
it's even with when you're away from wrestling, whether it be a few months, 4 or 5 months, whatever, things go by very quickly in it. The wrestlers develop in a way, storylines develop. Do you feel like since Becky Lynch has come back, the statures of the wrestlers has changed slightly? Because I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, man, I'm not body shaming anything, but you're a bit on the skinny side, and you're out here toughing it off with your, like your Rhea Ripley's and you're still being given that push of like you're really tougher than these girls. It's like, I don't know, what's your take on Becky Lynch at the moment?
It's hard to not give her that because she was probably the most dominant Raw Women's Champion we've had in terms of her first run as the man when she got the titles, and then she didn't lose the Raw Women's one until literally the day that she announced she's pregnant. Came back, I didn't lose it again until the next Mania when Bianca beat her. So, like, it's hard. At that point, you cannot downgrade her. But that's the beauty of wrestling, isn't it? You know, you have the days where, I mean, Eddie Guerrero wasn't a small guy. I mean, in difference to like a Brock Lesnar, he was a small guy. But you can have those stories where he beats a Brock Lesnar for the title, and you can have the other ones where Rey Mysterio tries to drop kick Great Khali and literally just bounces back off him. so, so yeah, man. I think it works because even someone like Dakota Kai, she's very slim actually. If you look at her, sort of like her physique as well, she doesn't look like she's muscular in a sense. You know what I mean? She's got slim arms, very slim legs, very toned. You know what I mean? So, but she's good. Technically, she's good, and I think Becky has that as well. She's got that technical skill as well. So it will work, but there will come a day where she meets the Nightmare, as you just mentioned, and boy. Anyway,
yeah. I'm loving what Rhea Ripley's doing right now with Judgment Day, with the storyline with Dominic Mysterio. I like how her character's developing. Obviously, we'll speak about Raw because I feel like there was a significant thing for Rhea Ripley, and I think we touched on it on the last show. But like in terms, just to dial back, in terms of the finish for Survivor Series of women's War Games, was you okay with that? Because I felt like it was suffice. It was like I think they done enough during the match. And the way it got to the ending is like pretty much, all right, cool. Yeah, we can end it here. What was your take?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's where I saw it. It was, I think, obviously Becky Lynch coming back. That to give her a big. They didn't have to, but they gave her the big win. She put two of them through the table, and I think it makes sense in a way
She
that
hurt herself as well.
she did.
Yeah, man, she hurt herself.
But that's maybe the only little thing I have, but that's because she hasn't been in a War Games match before. So it's slightly different jumping from a ladder to doing it from a cage. Like it's a very slight difference. Whereas if you give the Genius of the Sky the chance to just jump off a cage, she does it flawlessly. You know what I'm saying? So I think just slight differences, but the finish was fine. I think if I'm being very honest, I don't think anyone looked weak. I think everyone looked good in that match. You saw why the tag team champions are the tag team champs. You saw why Mia Yim is a dangerous competitor. You saw why Rhea Ripley is Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, Bianca, so on and so on. So yeah, I think the finish made sense, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they will do in the future. Can't lie.
Yeah. Cool. So obviously the women have kick-started Survivor Series. Was there any particular match you was looking forward to between both War Games? Obviously the women's gone first and the men's. Is there any standout fights?
I'm trying to think. There was okay. There was there was one that I was looking forward to, but it actually kind of pissed me off. The Ronda Shotzi match. And the reason why I was looking forward to that is because Shotzi, from what I've seen of Shotzi from NXT and what she's done in the main roster, I think she's good in the ring, right? But she's very new to Ronda. So I wanted to see if Ronda could work with this girl. Ronda, oh man, nah, man.
She's a pain. It's a bit of a, how can I describe it? It's like, how long is it going to take for you to blend in now and being able to adapt?
That's the thing. I'm starting to think that she doesn't want to.
Because do you think it's the lack of trying, or it's just the lack of ability?
I think it's refusal. I don't think lack of trying is more correct, but I don't think she lacks ability, because from what we saw from her first run, when she was on it, she spoke better on the microphone. She delivered better in the ring. She did her moves were timed perfectly. Like, yes, there was complaints that she was hurting people, but she comes from the world of mixed martial arts. Of course, you're gonna have to learn how to tone things down a little bit. It's very different. But bro, this match in particular, yeah, like there's one DDT that Shotzi wanted to do, and like I'm not a professional, so I can't tell you how to deliver it. But I'm sure that your trainers, especially the Brian Kendrick, despite all the stuff that's been happening with him in recent years, the guy was good in the ring. He knows how to deliver. If he's training you, he does it correctly. She didn't even try to sell the DDT, man. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. And that's the thing that annoys me, is like, she doesn't sell things, even when it's like they're going back to back with, like, on the mic as well. It's like when something's said to her, she doesn't really react to sell. Like, if you've been dissed, like, for example, sell it a bit like you've been dissed, you've been a little bit hurt by what's been said or whatever, but everything's just stone-faced and very direct. And like, I agree with you. I don't think it's lack of ability. I just think it's just lack of maybe letting go a little bit of what's reality and what wrestling is about, and obviously the entertainment. So she's very lucky she's Ronda Rousey, because that's what gives her the pull in it. Like, we're still gonna want to watch her and stuff like that. But when you see her brethren, what's her name again?
Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, I feel like where she is very much in the wrestling, and she's almost got the elements of Ronda Rousey, but you can
Yeah.
see also like personality-wise, if you still don't have the personality or maybe the draw, you can end up like her, which is a bit plain, and it's almost like a knockoff Ronda Rousey. So I feel like trying to be hard, I get it, but there has to be an element of vulnerability as well that allows you to kind of draw into these characters. But yeah, man,
It's a shame. It's a shame. I'm happy you said that about Shayna, because I was thinking about her after the match, and I was like, obviously now you're under Triple H. So when you were at NXT, the idea was you're a bully who just attacked people for banter, and then when you got into the ring, they really found out how dangerous you were. She wrestled a style similar to Pete Dunne, Butch, the joint manipulation and all that stuff that they used to call it. And like when she became champion, the NXT Women's Champion, she was dominant for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And she got over because she didn't need that. She was okay on the mic, but she didn't need to be a talker. She's an ass kicker. Like, you come from the world of MMA. That's what we want to see from you. You're brutal. Like, they can't touch you. And then eventually Rhea Ripley came out of nowhere, this hench woman that's ready to come and beat you, and you cannot do what you do to her. And she rattled you for the first time. Whereas Shayna Baszler, like, it might be Vince's fault because of the run beforehand or whatever, and I did want to see what Shotzi can do. I didn't expect Shotzi to win, but let's be real. In the real world, there is no way whatsoever that Shayna Baszler is going to lose a fight to Shotzi. No way. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Shotzi's a secret Goku / Vegeta. I don't know. But but it shouldn't be happening. And I don't want to see her, if I'm being honest, as Ronda's side chick. I need at some point for her to turn on Ronda and actually take control of the situation and beat Ronda, because she's a better wrestler, and I think she'd be a better champion. Like a 10 times better champion. I'm tired of Ronda. Bro, you know me. I tried to give Ronda a chance. I think the last show we
so am I. I agree.
Last show we did, I think I even defended her small. And now she came to disgrace me.
I feel like the novelty has long worn off. We get it, man. You was once considered the baddest woman on the planet. You know, rowdy Ronda Rousey, all of that, all the kind of look. I put it this way: if she left again next week, she wouldn't be missed. I think that is a major key to a character when you put it in that sense. If she was to go on a little bit of a hiatus or whatever, not, you wouldn't be thinking to yourself, your Sasha Banks, your Charlotte Flairs, you know, they are notably missed in terms of the stardom of the women right now. And just going back quickly, I get it, like the push that, you know, Becky Lynch still gets and stuff like that amongst the more butcher girls and the more stronger girls or whatever, that she still needs to be in and around that, because I feel like the women, as much as they've got so much talent, and I was watching it, there's only a small critique that I had when I was watching the ladies. I was thinking, a lot of yous are very similar looking, you know, like they're all kind of similar looking. No one's really standing out. And like I said, you know, your Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flairs, obviously Ronda Rousey has her look or whatever, and her stardom. These are the four that I would say that are the pinnacle of the women's division, and the rest of them just need to kind of catch up. But like Ronda Rousey, like I said, in terms of her character, personality, if she was missing, like, she wouldn't be missed. But yeah, man, Ronda Rousey did her thing anyway. She won the fight. Yeah, I don't know for you, it wasn't the greatest of matches, but nonetheless, and even a title run, I don't feel it either. So it's just like, whatever. Moving on. This one, what did I say about Austin Theory?
You said it. You said it.
Put the phone down.
Yeah.
Come with more of a ruthlessness about you. As soon as I saw him a couple weeks ago, and he was just going on a rampage, especially after the cashing in the Money in the Bank and a failed attempt, I was like, this is the opportunity. So we've got Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory. Austin Theory winning the fight and becoming the new US champion. So not only has he put the phone down, he's lost his money in the bank briefcase, he's now gained the title. Do you think finally this will be the push that Austin Theory can get to really cement himself in the WWE?
It is. I'm so happy you said it last week because I need to see it as well. And boy, thing is, the way he won the match, I think the match was great. Firstly, I think the match was great, and the way he won the match has an element of luck to it. But sometimes they're gonna do it like that because they don't want Seth Rollins or Bobby Lashley to look
over.
like, you know. So
it's what's the opportunist, isn't it? That kind of opportunist route. You get the title,
there you go,
and then you go with your run.
There you go. And I think he has the ability to be the biggest heel on the show, on both shows, on all three shows if he wants to. Because already no, the fans don't like him. That's just, it's natural. I think with the selfies and everything, they built something there, which is good, you know. But you said it. Now he put the phone down. What are you gonna bring? Now his thing is, I ain't no kid no more. You ain't gonna
now.
Now I'm a man. Now you're gonna deal with me. You know what I'm saying? And you know, going to a match and you come out beating two former world champions. Except for this case, I think he's won every title in the tag team, United States, Intercontinental, Universal, and
he's done the Grand Slam.
And it's the Grand Slam. Yeah, you know, but actually, I think 1 or 2 away from completing the set. But regardless, he's the Almighty. You know, so the fact that you come away from this match champion is a big thing. It's a big thing, no matter how it's done. And I think it's funny. It's like you and Triple H are on the same wavelength. It's like he said, "F up this money in the bank thing, and then let's see what he does with that." Because I keep thinking back to his first promo after he lost it, where he said, "Yeah, everyone's laughing at me, but now you're gonna find out.
You're gonna find out, yes,
find out that this is actually what needed to happen." Because that thing,
I like the promo as well. Sorry to cut you. I like the promo because it was like we all was thinking this. There's no way you're gonna win this world title. The storyline and everything that's built up for Roman Reigns is beyond Austin Theory, and it would never make sense. This is, you know, the head of the table, and he said it. Listen, that's the head of the table, the tribal chief. There's no way I'm gonna get this guy's been champion for over, you know, almost 2 years plus. There's no way I'm gonna be able to reach him. But the next best thing is these titles. And yes, I may have lost the briefcase, but you're gonna feel you're gonna know me now. I'm not the future, I'm the now.
There you go. And like to add to that, for me, it's like within that promo as well, is what he acknowledges as well. It's like he's aware. And this is the thing I like about it, because if you're gonna take away from this whole kid thing, you gotta act like you know what the best wrestlers do and what they notice. He said, even if I got near Roman, the bloodline's there. Like, you know, like, and then even if I got near a title match or to interfere, Brock Lesnar was there. And if it wasn't Brock Lesnar, it's Tyson Fury. Like, every time something was happening, I was getting close, something was blocking my way. So I need to find an alternative. I found an alternative, it didn't work. But it awoke something in me. And it's so opposite to the face one where they're like, yeah, you know, I may have lost it, but you guys are about to find out that I'm built for this. I'm here for this. And here and all that rubbish. He said, no, I'm a bad boy, and you're gonna find out. And what I like about him as well is he, no matter what, throughout his whole run, even under Vince's one as well, there's one thing he's not lacked in terms of his belief, it's his source. You can tell that he actually believes in himself. As character aside, like, he goes out there, he's got confidence about him. If you give him something, he will deliver. And I remember when he first got signed to NXT, he came from Evolve, and there was hype about him because I think he was like the youngest champion on that side. He's still a young boy, isn't it? He's still a very young boy in terms of the wrestling world, anyway. And there was a hype about him, and people didn't really get it because, like, he's still a kid. He's not the best talker. He's not the best this, but it looks like he's worked on his craft. He's really worked on his skills. The guy's good, man. The
He
guy's
is good.
good.
The confidence that he exudes, like it reminds me of like a Seth Rollins. Like like at that early time, you can give Seth Rollins anything, especially like when he left the Shield and stuff like that. You know, you have to really trust these guys and able to like, look, we're gonna push you in this big limelight right now. Can you handle it? And I think like
Yeah,
at every point, Austin Theory has definitely shown that he's been able to handle it. Even the Money in the Briefcase win, it was convincing at the time. You know, it was like, all right, cool. We kind of understand that they're trying to build him to push him in that direction. It's just unfortunate, like the WWE and SmackDown title trajectory for it just was way too much for
yeah,
someone like Austin Theory. But you can understand why they entrusted him to be like, all right, cool, you could possibly be a future. He's got the look, he knows how to talk on the mic. It was just the maturity aspect. And that's what I was saying. It's just like, if he can just put the phone down, none of this, you know, you've done a match and then you're looking at it. It was just a bit, it was teetering on the childishness a bit. It's like there's being cocky, but then there's a bit of that. Nah, this is a bit child. This is what kids do, you know what I mean? Like on their phones and all that kind of stuff. Or you're almost borderline in like trying to look too much like like a social media influencer, and like, you know, now you're seeing like your Logan Pauls are doing it even the most extreme way, and you know what I mean. And we're seeing what that phone aspect is doing, but once he put the phone down, I was like, yes. And then he added that ruthlessness. And then also it's just like, it's me against the world. Like, you
yeah,
lot don't believe in me, but I'm going to show you. It's
yeah,
time. And the element of the unknown with him is what's also great about it. It's just like we don't know what this guy's capable of. Like
yeah,
he's yet to even hit his ceiling. You know what I mean? So it's like, what is more to come? Like, you know, now he's got the title. How is he going to be defending it? You know, like in what way is he going to be defending it? Is it going to be just like being like the most dirtiest player in the game kind of style? Or is it going to be like he's dominating? Is he going to have a weasel kind of, you know, character about him? Is he going to be able to get away? Like, you know, there's so many, and this is what I love about heels and stuff like that. I mean, there's so many ways to take Austin Theory's storyline with this title. It's, yeah, man, I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
it's gonna be good.
He's gonna be really good. All right, cool. So that was Austin Theory winning the title. We're looking forward to his run. We'll obviously discuss more about what he did in Raw as well shortly after this. Who we got now? AJ Styles and Finn Balor. Hey, I didn't even realize that Finn Balor changed up his music a bit.
Oh, you do clock?
No, I didn't clock. I still was thinking that it was still the Judgment Day song, and then I was thinking, hold on a second, it's still got the elements of the Demon King in there a little bit. So I was like, okay, I like that. You know me, man. I'm a fan of all the theme tunes. So we've got AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Pretty much the OC versus Judgment Day. What was your thoughts about this match?
Good match. I mean, what do you expect from those two, man? They know how to deliver, man. AJ Styles, you give him something, he delivers. Finn Balor's, I think to this day, I still think he's underrated. I still think he's very underrated. He's good.
I feel sorry for him, man.
Yeah,
The injury. I don't think he's recovered from having that Universal title, then getting injured, and then there's just been no way back for him.
This is my thing. Like, it's good. This is gonna sound like I hated Vince McMahon, but I didn't. I actually loved the guy, but actually no, I said I didn't love the guy, but I was kind of fond of him for the things he did in the past. Not so recent, but anyway, like when he came back after losing that Universal title to injury, he should have come back as a heel. For me, I'm thinking you're pissed off. You're very pissed off. So like when he went back to NXT, the first night I was like, yeah, I'm back in NXT. The fans get gassed. Yeah, you know, he's back. Oh my God, it's Finn Balor, yay! And then the next night, he's doing a Pele kick to Johnny Gargano. He's like, you gotta understand who I really am. Like, you gotta understand what I'm about. Like, it's like you guys don't respect what I'm capable of. You know what I'm saying? And when he went back to NXT and became the Prince, it wasn't anything fancy. His music was hit. He do his arms in the air, but do it once and then point his fingers to the camera like his gun fingers. Like, yeah, you're gonna understand. You know what I mean? And then he'll just bang you in the ring convincingly. And the thing is, again, he's not another big guy, but if you look at his physique, you can see he's a strong,
ripped, shredded.
He's ripped. Think that's the key word. He's ripped. He's ripped. So you look at that guy on the street. If you bump into him and he takes his shirt off and he tenses, you're like,
right, yeah. It's gonna be long for you because you know that he's involved in something.
Yeah, exactly. It's techie, especially when you know the man that put tape around their fingers. That's when you know something different. That's when you're like, oh shit, okay. So obviously that was my thoughts. And when he came back to the main roster as a good guy again, I was like, oh man, we're doing this again. Like, you're not helping the guy. If I'm being honest, you're not helping him. But the Judgment Day thing is working well.
Yeah, the beef between them is really good, man. Oh, you mean just Judgment Day with Finn
Both.
Balor? Okay.
Both. Yeah, both. Because when you went into the Judgment Day, again, under Vince, he did the big heel move. They took out Edge, and then they weren't seen for 2 weeks. I was like, okay, what, did you beat up Edge and then go back to Ireland and see your family? What's going on here? That was going on. And then it comes out of nowhere and they do nothing with it. And then they have a match with Edge and the Mysterios and then they lose. But the focus is more on Dominic rather than the team.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. But then you start to see Dominic is Rhea Ripley's bitch, to be quite frank.
And you know, let's keep it a buck.
Let's keep it a buck. She's like those bondage women that just
dominatrix.
Yeah. This guy's at home with a leash around his neck, barking around the house. And then you've got Damian Priest, which I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know his role.
He feels like more of the enforcer of the group, per se. But Rhea Ripley's character or her involvement in the group, obviously being like the manager slash. I think that she's more playing that enforcer role. I think since she's come in, she's assumed that enforcer role better than Damian Priest. So yeah, I agree as well. I don't know where he really lies in terms of the group or what his use is. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. He feels a bit lost to me. I don't know. But Finn, I like that guy, man, and he's talking more as well. He's talking more. I know it's difficult for Americans when they hear the Irish accent. They're like, man.
Nah, he's got good chat.
He's got good chat. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a good match. I want to find out what your thoughts are on the match as well, because I think they had a match back in like 2016 or 17 where Bray Wyatt got injured. I think he was supposed to face Finn Balor.
Yeah,
he got injured. The Stars came in and they had a good match. But yeah, what do you think? Was it better? If you remember?
It's definitely better. I think you can tell that they've wanted to have a singles match. I think that is the key thing. That's what I got from that fight, the match itself. You could tell that, and the build up. You can tell that they've literally wanted to work together. And originally, I couldn't understand just out of nowhere where the beef was, but it makes sense. These two are elite. Let's not. When we say elite, it doesn't. You don't necessarily just have to have the titles and stuff like that, or be in the main frame of storylines. These guys are elite. Their wrestling is elite.
Yeah.
And you and I, we've had this conversation about, like, when we're seeing wrestling and doing they're not selling moves and all of these kind of it takes about 3 specials to what's it called with these guys. Even though they're dropping hard moves and they're kicking out whatever, you're hungry for more. You're like, I want to see what's going on. The sequences are good, and the storyline with the beef that they have now with the OC and the Judgment Day, it's just gonna continue. It's just gonna continue. There's always room for you can win the war. you know, you can win the battle, but the war has not been won, if you get what I'm saying. So the following week, it can still continue. So, and that's what I'm enjoying right now. And I've been saying this for a while, man. Like, I keep these short rivalries. I hope Triple H kind of works on this, because I think with Vince McMahon is like just trying to go for that quick pop, 1 or 2 month rivalry, and then that's it. So with this, I'm just hoping that it goes on longer and longer, and there's always room for more dynamics to the story between OC and Judgment Day. But the fight in itself, I enjoyed it, and I wasn't surprised that AJ won. I just felt like there's more room for like a Finn Balor to kind of play with that loss as a heel, rather than AJ losing, and then there isn't the most that AJ can do the following night or whatever is whine, and it will be too whiny, complaining about loss, and you're a face, you know what I mean? But where with Finn Balor, you know, you can still come back and be like, you didn't beat me fair, or like, you know, you can play with that heel aspect. So yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. AJ wins. And then, like I said, when we talk about Raw, we'll be able to expand on what happened after there. Because I initially, as much as I was saying that I want a long run with their rivalry, I thought, all right, cool, that's pretty much it now, yeah. But then going into Raw, as we know, it continued on. So yeah, man, that was a good fight match. Next one, I think that's pretty much it in between the two War Games, isn't it? So the next one is the main event in itself, the Bloodline. Listen, first and foremost, before we get into the matchup itself, yeah, I just want to go on record by saying the Bloodline, this storyline as a group, because I'm a big, massive fan of groups. You know, I'm Nation of Domination. I'm Evolution. I'm man, who else? DX. I'm Heart Foundation. I'm a group guy. Okay. So to see the Bloodline, as soon as, you know, Jey Uso was in there, and I was like, man, Jimmy, they got to get Jimmy. But obviously Jimmy was doing his hiatus with his madness that it was going on behind the scenes. They brought Jimmy in, and I was just like, this is what they need to do with this group. And it keeps expanding. We spoke about Paul Heyman's dynamics. We spoke about Sami Zayn's dynamics to the group. Before we get into the matchup itself, just dial it back a little bit. What was your thoughts going into this War Games with the Bloodline? Like, especially what was happening with Sami Zayn and stuff.
So there's so much they could have done, which is exciting. It's like, is Sami Zayn gonna go with Kevin Owens? Is Kevin Owens gonna turn his back on his team to back his boy? Is the Bloodline gone? Is Roman Reigns gonna have enough and just choke him out? Is Jey Uso just gonna cost them the match because he can't go over his hatred of Sami Zayn? Like, bro, so much, and this is what a good storyline is. It leaves you thinking, what angle are we going through? Like, what's happening here? Who shot Ghost, basically? You know. Was it his wife? Was it his best friend? Was it the crooked cop? Was it the mayor? Who knows? Like, this is.
So what you're saying, there was an element of a possible turn on the Bloodline in this War Games.
On the Bloodline, in the Bloodline.
Yeah, I felt
for the Bloodline.
Yeah, I was on edge, man. Because it's like, what angle are they going for here? Yeah, just in terms of, obviously we know the Bloodline was one of the teams in the Survivor Series War Games. Just let the people know, like, what was the other team?
So it was the Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Pete Dunne, aka Butch, and Rich Holland, Kevin Owens, and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, shout out to our Scottish peeps out there.
Come on,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, good team, and again a good matchup because this is a very physical team. Kevin Owens, brutal. Drew McIntyre, brutal. Sheamus, definitely brutal. Rich Holland is kind of new to the game of being brutal. He's still kind of learning the ropes, but he's got the physique for it, so he's good. And Butch, again, we talked about joint manipulation and grabbing fingers and bending elbows.
This guy, sometimes I'm like, it's a bit too much, man.
I like it. Personally, I love it. You know, when he's in the headlock and he just goes,
yeah, but I'm just like, man.
He just goes, ah! I'm like, yes. I'm like, do it again.
Yeah, I do. There's an element I'm just like, oh man, this is a bit too much, but yeah, man, I do like it. All right, so we've got obviously the two factions together in a War Games. Now, originally, I'll give you my take on the Survivor Series as a whole in terms of the traditional and War Games. Okay. I did miss the element of elimination, like being pinned and then whittling it down, and then you're like, sometimes in Survivor Series we've seen like 3 versus 1, and then we've seen a great comeback. But I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go into this just being able to accept what is being delivered, what is being shown to me, and I still feel like they still gave the element of elimination, but just in a different way, where obviously certain wrestlers, once they got dealt with, they were in the side of the corner, rolled over, so holding their heads for about 10 minutes on the floor. It's like, man, give you just one chop to the face and you're and you're out. So they still cheated with that. They still played around with that because there was points I was just like, oh, there's too much going on, but I feel like they played it well in that aspect. And man, this was a great match. This was a great. I really enjoyed this. I was tired because I was watching it like at the early hours, but like once that fight and that matchup came up again, I was like, man, this is a really good one. I don't know, how did you feel about it?
Oh, bro, I enjoyed that from start to finish. Usually, if I'm being honest, in recent times for pay-per-views, if I'm not feeling it within the first 5 minutes, because I know a lot of matches are slow burners, but I will try and skip maybe another 5 minutes and see what's happening, if something exciting has happened. Or this one, from minute 1, I was gassed. 1, because of the storyline. 2, because like even though Jey Uso and Pete Dunne, I think they started. Yeah, those two started. Even though it seemed a bit slow at the beginning, it was the whole who's going to join into the match next element that got me really giddy. So obviously, Butch had Rich Holland come in, and then the door opens for the Bloodline, and Jimmy's about to go out, and Roman goes, "Hey." He's grabbed him. Didn't speak.
Do it exactly how he did it, bro.
Didn't even speak. Man just went. Listen,
that was the most African way of doing something I've ever seen. I was just like, man, he looked like he's that. You go out there, and the commentators are like, let's see what Sami Zayn's gonna do. Is Jey and Sami Zayn gonna work together? I was like, yes, they got the elements to it.
Oh, it was, everything about it was perfect, and even that moment when he grabbed it and he pointed towards Sami to go. Sami looked, he was like, hold on,
it's like it's not my time yet. This is not what we discussed.
He was looking shook, and he was like, yo, but that's what makes the match so exciting, and I feel like they could feel that in the crowd as well, because like when you see him grab his cousin and tell the other guy to go, you're like, oh,
not your blood either. He's not even your blood.
It's not even your blood, but you have
trusting an outsider to go and deal with the job.
Yep. And you have that command for him to say, yes, sir, without saying anything. He just looked and said, oh my God, okay, I have to go now. Like that's what the character of the tribal chief should be. Like he's a dominator, and you will respect him. You acknowledge him, essentially. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So that was
so good. He's so good at this now, man.
So good.
Unbelievable. I don't
So
know
good.
how he's developed this character, but that moment alone, yeah, it was everything to me. It
Yeah.
was. I was just like, whoa. He commanded. At that point in time, Jay is basically getting pummeled in the ring. It's just like he needs help. He's brother. This is his tag team partner. You know, the greatest, arguably the greatest tag team champs of all time. And he's equal to go in there and to be able to save. And no, you've entrusted Sami Zayn. More so, proving a point like, listen, go out there and prove to me that
That's
you
it.
are for the bloodline.
That's it. And what killed me throughout that whole time, yeah, is that the guy was sitting on a chair. That killed me. That killed me.
Head of the table, man, the tribal chief.
Every man is 9 people are standing up from the beginning, and you are taking a seat. Yeah, man. He's goated. He's goated.
Nah, he's definitely performing at GOAT level.
Yes.
Yeah. Whether or not you want to say, look, people out there, man, you can leave it in the comments whether or not where you can put Roman Reigns in the rankings of the greats. But you know, he might not be your number one. He might not be your number one coach. He might not be my number one. But what we can't deny is that at this moment in time, his performance level is GOAT level.
Ooh.
It's GOAT level, man.
Ooh.
So Sami Zayn's gone in the ring. And what are you thinking now at this point?
I'm thinking he's gonna help very, very well. But I was thinking if Kevin Owens comes in next, oh, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. I think was it Kevin Owens third or was it Drew McIntyre? It was Drew McIntyre third, wasn't
Drew
it?
McIntyre.
Yeah. So I was thinking if Kevin Owens came in with Jay alone, that would have been a different element because that okay. Are you gonna somehow avoid like beef between the two of them? And then it comes to a point where like Jay's in the middle of the ring, kind of dazed, and you've got them two on the other side looking at each other. I didn't know it was going to go to that, but I do like the fact that Drew McIntyre came in because it added more suspense. And I think what's good is you have more wrestlers in the ring, so there's a lot more bodies to deal with. So it's not a case of now if it's only Jay and Sammy, and then Kevin Owens comes in, Jay's beaten up immediately. It's like, oh, what's happening with Sammy? You needed more to happen. You know what I'm saying? So Jimmy comes in after Drew, and then eventually it was what's his name, Kevin Owens. Like it was so built. It was built perfectly. But those two in question that you mentioned, I didn't know what to expect. Again, that's why I loved it. And I think there's a moment where I think Rich Holland was going to do something. I think he was going to run into Jay and hurt him between the cage and the ropes. And somebody pulled him out and said, "I told you, I've got you. I told you." But then, interesting, and this is why Sammy's so good. He pointed at him, said, "Oh, God, you." Then he looked over at the cage again, like, "Listen, I told you, I got it, man. Like, allow me, please, allow me."
Literally, he was conflicted, rightfully so, but at the same time, his desire to prove himself. Remember, before the matchup, is like that emotional, like I am for the bloodline. Like he's pleading with Roman, like believe me. But at the same time, he's 20-odd year friendship with Kevin Owens still teetering in the background. And yeah, man, I was just like you. I was just like, oh, where could this go? Now, I liked the aspect of the finish because it still left him a little bit conflicted. Before I even go into the finish, I did actually like the way Kevin Owens was displayed in this matchup.
Okay.
He was. It wasn't a case where Roman Reigns, as great as he is, it wasn't a case that Kevin Owens couldn't handle himself because that stunner and having him down that could easily been a 1-2-3. So there's room for a little bit of beef to continue. Is a viable opponent as well. The stunner is a great move. That can be pulled out and it's believable that if he gets Roman Reigns with that could be a 1-2-3. So I reckon there's still room for that. But obviously, he's giving Roman Reigns the stunner. He's gone to pin Roman Reigns. We're hearing a 1, 2. Take it away, Kojo, man.
Sami Zayn again. And he stopped. This is what I love. He didn't have to get into physical contact with Kevin Owens straight away. He stopped the ref from counting to 3.
Yeah.
So
it's still, it was for me at that point, it was still like, are you still for Kevin Owens a bit? Because normally it would just be like, you just go and hit them, innit? You don't care about. Go on.
He said, it's like he didn't want to hurt his boy, but he didn't want his other boy to lose. So he's grabbed him and he's just looking at Kevin. And Kevin's looking at him like, yo, are you sure? Like, what are you doing? And I like what you said about the Kevin Owens bit, because this is how he should be displayed. Like, the guy, he came into the company as the prize fighter. And then he became Universal Champion. Lost to Goldberg, fine. But he was the Universal Champion, lost to the old man, Grant Mitchell. And then
Grant Mitchell.
Shout out Grant Mitchell.
Mate.
And then like, he became a very dominant Intercontinental Champion and a very dominant United States Champion. But somewhere in between, it's like he wasn't taken seriously anymore. And this is someone that's good. He's called the prize. If his nickname is the prize fighter, it should tell you that he's got something special about him. And he's very difficult to beat, and he's very, very capable of beating the very best. And the fact that he delivered that stun and Roman was gone. Considering Roman was more fresh in that ring as well. That's delivering a story saying this guy is a question that bloody waste man punk Vince Russo, that's another old man that keeps screaming on his channel. The only reason I know is because I've got not a subscription per se, but of course subscription when you just follow the stories from Sports Keeda. And it's always something about him complaining about something. I'm like, brother, shut up. We're not in 1999 anymore. It's not the same. You have to accept it. Move on. You know what I'm saying? So he's complaining about the fact that there's no viable challengers left for Roman Reigns. And to be fair, I didn't actually agree with that. But the reason I agree with that is because I think under Vince's reign, at some point it was like, you've already given him the very best you can offer. And you have to keep calling back Brock Lesnar. You call back John Cena. Like, who on the roster are you going to allow? Minus Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins is on his day. You know what it is. Are you going to allow to be the next guy to really challenge him?
Yeah.
And Kevin Owens has credibility. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that. But the ending of the match, insane. The betrayal of his boss, Sami Zayn, like proper betrayal, low blow.
Yeah, that is number one betrayal.
Yeah,
in history, on the history of like wrestling, if you deliver a low blow, you really are saying,
"We're done."
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, and the way he delivered the low blow, it wasn't like a quick one and then he moved out the way. He was there for a while, bang, and just there like. Yeah, you see, I don't know how, but weirdly through my arm, I still want to feel that I'm conflicted, but I had to do this. I had to do this because this is my true family right now. And then the way he did the bit where Kevin goes into the corner, that he looks at Roman Reigns to give him the nod. Like, Roman Reigns is like, you can finish him off now. And then he finishes him off, but then allows Jay to do Man, it's like, it's perfect. It's perfect. It's because in that moment, he's looking at Roman and saying, you're the tribal chief. You're the head of this family. So naturally, you're the one that closes the match.
Even to the point where he threw him into the corner. It was like he was still conflicted up until that point. And then he made his decision like, you know what? Bun this. Threw him there. Gives him the Hilumi kick. And and then like you said, being able to then still not take the full glory, be like, I did the dirty work. I did exactly what you wanted me to do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still showing you showing Jay that I don't have an issue with you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then obviously Jay goes for the splash, and then it's a 1, 2, 3. And then what I like to see afterwards was so basically it's been ongoing that Jey Uso's not been feeling Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
He's getting along with everybody else. He's doing the daps with Jimmy. He's even made Solo. We didn't even touch on even Solo's part in the War Games, but we'll touch on that a little bit. He's even made Solo crack up a little bit. In the midst of this, let me just say this. Sami Zayn is so good at what he's doing right now. Even as hardened Jay has been as the right-hand man, he's still managed to get him to break character in all of these promos. The last one was it in SmackDown when they were trying to figure out who was the fifth member, and then obviously Sami Zayn's he's off the like camera basically. Jimmy's trying to get everyone to fix up like bloodline business, man. We're trying to find the fifth member of the other team. Sami Zayn comes and goes, "Yo, man, remember I told you what was going on the other night? Like, I'll come chat to you later." Jay's on the side and he's busting up because he's just like, this guy, man. He really thinks he's an Uso. But yeah, man, obviously they embraced, they hugged for the first time. And you can see obviously what this meant to Jay, even like, yo, I reckon I can finally trust you. You are all right. Like, we just gone to hell and back in this War Games and you've stood. Because obviously Jay's all about like, you just need to be down for the bloodline, the family in it. And you've shown that you are. You've turned on your best friend. And if you can do that, then you're definitely down for the bloodline. Yes. And yo, man, that ending, it was perfect for me.
Yeah. I agree. Perfect. I can't add anything more to that. Honestly, it's just perfect. I watched it and not once did I be like, I was just like,
yeah,
great. Great television.
My first thought was like Triple H, man. Oh, if this is if this is how you're starting, I am really looking forward to like certain twists. I think what he's doing at the moment is like some of the traditional stuff, we've got to revamp it. I won't be surprised if there's going to be some revamps to like Royal Rumble. Obviously, we've seen elimination chambers. Like, I think the element of not being afraid to change things up a little bit is with Triple H. I think that's the most positive thing that we've got at the moment. Like, you know, with Vince McMahon, tried and tested. We're not saying that anything was bad because we can easily watch a Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, and be very satisfied or whatnot. But like to start getting like if there's any indicator to what we've just seen with Survivor Series, I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Agree. Yeah.
I'm trusting in that vision and trusting in Triple H to be able to tell very good stories as well as giving you the entertainment factor to it. And yeah, man. I think Survivor. I don't know, like in terms of it being your expectations for War Games. I know I asked you at the beginning, but did it fulfill your expectations or did it go above and beyond?
No, it fulfilled it, man. I in all the matches, I actually had confidence in all the matches. Obviously, Ronda let me down, but
only one.
But yeah, that's honestly the only one. And even that, again, I think Shotzi gave it her best shot to do something with Ronda. Like she looks good. I'm a fan of her. I do like her. I think at some point she will be a good champion. At some point, I don't know when that time is, because I think obviously it's tough to get past. If you're talking about credibility, Ronda, Rhea, Bianca, Becky, Sasha, if she does come back, Charlotte when she eventually comes. The hierarchy is it's.
I can't wait. I can't wait for that though. That stardom in the women's division and stuff like that. That's what I'm waiting for because I'm gonna see like the characters right now. Can they still hang with that star power? Because right now I feel like a lot of them are very mid card. Even Bianca Belair, as much as she's been pushed as a champ and she had a run or whatever, I still don't feel that she's reached the Sasha Banks or she's not a Charlotte Flair or even Becky. Like, you know, her music will crack now and it's like, okay, I get you, you're spinning the hair and stuff like that. And this is why I said to you, like, this I said to you is like maybe she's due. She's due a heel run. I believe that's gonna read. It will develop her sass. She needs to be mean girl, like mean girl, kind of like Bianca Belair, and that's what I'm waiting for. She can go for a run right now. Kudos to her. She's holding down the title, but yeah, man, I'm waiting for the mean girl run for her and stuff like that. Man, that was Survivor Series, man. That was everything that we hoped for in a pay-per-view or main event, as they call it, and stuff like that. Obviously, if you've been watching this the show so far, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. I always forget to add all the nitty-gritties with that and the housekeeping. So we've done Survivor Series, and I hollered at I was just like, yo, Survivor Series. And you was like, yo, I can't wait for Raw. And I was like, yeah, I almost forgot, man. The next day, Monday Night Raw, we're seeing all like the fallout and the continuations of beef on the next show. What was your take on Raw, man? Was there any standouts? Who came out first?
Becky came out first.
Becky, yeah. So let's start with that. Becky Lynch has come out, and do you know what? She came out into the crowd and
I was cool with it. Not that it was like a segment that blew my mind or anything, but I was cool with it because she's come back as the man now, which is good.
So she's no longer what is it? Big time Beck. She's not big time Beck. Now she's the man now.
She's the man, and
okay.
I don't mind that. She came in, she spoke into the crowds, she did what she had to do. Like, she's established herself as a good guy again, and that's fine by me.
Yeah,
that's absolutely fine by me. One thing I want to say, I know, listen, we're both grown men. This is a very, very nice podcast, but I'm going to say this right now,
Do your thing, bro.
I'm gonna lean into the camera as well right now, Baby stick.
Hey!
Brother, you know what, I knew it. Hey. It's like, I knew it because we've seen it before, but I never really dipped it until when she walked out in that fit. Firstly, drip. Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
She's got a bit of an injury right now, isn't it?
I think she's got a slight injury,
Yeah.
But brother, I was like, hold on.
She's packing.
This is
we're men, we've got eyes.
I will not lie. No one can come and tell me to lie. I will not lie. I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. I'm being honest. She looked good. Good. This is simple as that. And you know what, Becky, your baby? Yes. This is because I can't lie. When she first debuted as a wrestler and everything, I saw a white girl that the buns and everything, and she was high-fiving. It was cute, whatever. And then I remember there's an interview where Sasha Banks, because they acknowledged Bailey for I think Latin Heritage Month or something.
Yeah. It was during I think like how we got like Black History Month and it had like
yeah. And I was like, hold on, what part of her because to me she didn't look like she had any sort of like, I don't know, Mexican or South American to her. I just didn't see it. I'll tell you right now, Monday.
Oh, you saw every bit of the Latina.
Listen, I saw it. And you know what? I'm a big fan.
Hey, shout out to Rhea Ripley though in her ring attire as well. That was a bit risque.
Hey,
it was a bit. I don't know what kind of Dominic Mysterio is giving her the boost, but anyway.
Let me tell you right now. Yeah, Dominic is trying to leave his real life girlfriend. I promise you.
There is rumors. There's rumors.
There is rumors. Yeah.
There's rumors that it's not just in ring or wrestling thing. Behind the scenes, apparently they're developing a steady relationship. So, we'll see if they will filter that into their storyline. That would be quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie to you. You could do a lot worse. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? But hey, listen. Let me not lie as well. Now when she wrestles in the thing, I'm not a fan of like bare tattoos. So I'm not a fan of seeing like her legs covered in tattoos and all that stuff. That's her thing though, and that's her thing. That's no worries, yeah. But you see the little strap she wears just below the cheeks.
Shout out, Kojo.
I'm trying to be
You
a
are
good guy,
killing
man.
me
I'm
tonight,
trying to be
my
a good
brother.
guy, man. But hey, listen, I'm gonna
Now,
acknowledge.
listen. They know what they're doing. WWE know it. Listen, you gotta remember as well, wrestling's coming from an era where the puppies and all that kind of stuff, the risque era. But
yes,
yeah, man, I think especially with the female wrestlers right now, they are trying to give you a fine balance. But I'm also just a strong believer, like, yo, man, like, just because you are in a physical kind of which is perceived as male dominant entertainment or sport, that you have to always just be butch or whatever. Nah, man, listen, if you've got the curves and you want to show it, what's that one in NXT? That's very, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
hey,
yeah,
let me tell you right now, yeah. Let me tell you right now, yeah. Let me tell you right now. You follow me, bro, on Instagram, yeah. Go to her page and just go to her things and see how many times my name pops up in the likes. You know, I'm a fan. I am a fan.
Oh man, yeah, man. But yeah,
but she's
man.
good.
Going back to Bailey.
Yeah, sorry. That's the
Go
thing about these wrestlers and the female wrestlers in particular. Like, they're great in the ring, but if you got it, flaunt it. That's the saying, no? Like,
yeah, no, that's exactly what I said. I think you still don't need to shy away from what you can also, like, let's just put it this way, like the men, that they will be like showing how they are, or like how buff they are, how strong they are, whatever. Women as well, if you've got a particular look, who is it, Fabolo, what's her name again? Camilla. She played very much into that, beauty and kind of stuff and stuff like that. But you're not going to get a Ronda Rousey that's going to play into that kind of character, whatever. So it's just a fine balance, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it and stuff like that. But yeah, man, Bailey, I like the segment in terms of, obviously they've finished going back and forth on the mic. Their beef is obviously continuing, both blaming each other for injuries and the layoffs. And then the rest of Bailey's cronies have come down the stairs, and then they've obviously started with Becky Lynch, and then they've taken the beef up into the concession stands and all that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, I did actually like the element. Yeah, man, once again, it's just more of like giving you like what the dudes usually do, and the women are doing it.
Yeah. No, look, you can't limit them. You can't limit them. They're good. They're so good at what they do. And I don't want it to sound like a thing where it's how do I explain it? When you're saying they're so good in terms of,
it's not condescending. It's not condescending.
Yeah, it's not condescending. They can do what the men do. Like, this is genuinely, they're good, so use them. Literally, like, I'll say it'll be the same for. It's sort of like if I do like a really, maybe a bad example, but remember how, like, when Dolph Ziggler was coming up, and eventually was like, guys, use this guy. He's flipping good, man. Like, he can do anything.
Everything.
He can talk. He can wrestle. He can sell. He can be a champion for you. Like, do everything you want with this guy. It's the same for these ladies. Like, you said, even Bianca Belair, because Bianca Belair's got the look, she's got the physique, she's got in-ring talent, and she's good on the mic. And the thing is, if you say about the heel, like, if you let her come as a heel and tell you, I'm the EST, I'm the best this, best that, and show it in a more dominant, ruthless manner, you've got an even bigger star. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, she would definitely. I'm telling you, when she becomes a heel, we're gonna see a different and a much better Bianca Belair right now. I feel like being a face, the shackles are on a little bit. That goes for remember I was saying about Street Profits as well. More Montez than anything. I feel like he has definitely got the attitude that's needed as a heel as well. I think both of them can come with that, being very frustrated with life in the WWE or whatever kind of heel turn they'll have, and they'll really have a good run as heels. So obviously that was the Becky Lynch and Bailey segment. What else was there on Raw that stood out?
The Judgment Day OC again.
Yes. So this is where I was saying that basically I felt like, okay, Survivor Series, yes, there's elements for it to continue, but I actually thought, all right, cool, maybe they're going to cool down with their beef. Survivor Series being like a big event. There ain't going to be more to the beef. AJ's obviously won. But then AJ's won actually the fight, but he's still saying, we ain't done yet.
No way.
So that was a bit of a surprise to me because I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought it was going to be like Finn Balor coming and saying that, no, man, like we got to go again. So, yeah, man, what was your thoughts on that?
I loved it. The thing is, sometimes when you have a long rivalry, the question you ask yourself is, when is it going to end? I don't mind this one continuing because they keep adding different sort of layers to it. You had Finn Balor trying to convince AJ for so long to join the team. And then AJ fake joins the team in a moment and literally says, I want talking about you, then his boys come back. But then the Mandem come back, but they're still having issues because they've got this dominant woman on the side that just keeps screwing with their plans. So what do? We need to find someone to help the problem. Okay, we have a couple of matches. They keep beating us because this woman keeps getting in the damn way, and all three of us were gentlemen. We will never hit her, no matter how much she tries to provoke the beef. Cool. And then, out of nowhere, this lady that was released has come back with Vim, and she's also someone that is not afraid to get her hands dirty, comes back, and the first thing she does is bang her with Rhea Ripley with a kendo stick. And it's like, okay, takes the hood off, it's Mia Yim. You're like, oh, okay, this is different. Okay.
Do you think that she had the OC look though? Like,
I think yes and no. No being she doesn't look or sort of like act the same way the Good Brothers do or AJ Styles. But what I will say is she's got that cool factor that all three of them have. They're all cool for different reasons. And adding her to the group, when you can see in their promos, it's natural. It's actually easy for all four of them to communicate. The three of them already, as the boys, they're fine. They've been knowing each other for years, but she's coming to the group and she's very calm. She's very, very calm. She's very assured about herself. She doesn't look nervous around the group.
Yeah, I think that's key. Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So honestly, it's good. It's good. And you know, I know they had a match and Rhea Ripley did win again, the match for the team. But this is the whole point. Like, Rhea's no longer now having to deal with the boys. She's having to deal with a real problem. And again, it's this thing that Triple H is doing now where even if you lose the match, you don't look bad. You just you look good, but we understand why you lost the match.
Yeah. Nothing that damages you for the next time.
Exactly. It's so carefully thought of, you know, because I think if Mia Yim had come back under Vince's reign and what you're talking about, the short storylines and everything, Mia Yim come back, she's been back, what, a month and a half now? In this match, the boys would have gone back and forth, but Rhea Ripley would have absolutely torn her to shreds. And that's that done game. And then she goes to facing people on main event or goes back to NXT. It's just, or in catering, like it's so carefully thought of. You know what I'm saying? So I'm enjoying it. And then it's a great rivalry, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
It's a great rivalry.
I did like then, and I'm glad you touched on and you noticed the element of Rhea Ripley winning in the beef that started off with just the men, but once again, it showed where Rhea Ripley is in the dynamics of that group. Yeah. It allowed her not just to have beef with the men, because we've seen how dominant you are with the men, but the men are not hitting you back in it. Like, so it's imbalanced. It's nothing that we can kind of gauge on where you really are. But now obviously that she's having her own beef and she's handling it and she's actually deciding matches. She's you know, it's no longer just tripping someone up and outside of the ring. Now you're actually getting the 1, 2, 3. And now you can actually hold your head high in terms of the group. And remember what we were saying in terms of like, if there was a shift in power, you can literally, or we can literally believe that Rhea Ripley could be the leader of the
Yeah,
Judgment Day. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Because she is now, when there's beef out there, she's handling her business.
There
So
you go.
she's not just tagging along. And I love that. I was just like, yo, I would not be adverse to the fact that if Rhea Ripley became leader of Judgment Day, I think that would be that would be a sick twist to continue the storyline and push Rhea Ripley as like really as a contender. And then you've got like another person really in terms of the women division, like as very strong and powerful. By the time if your Charlotte Flairs and your Sasha Banks come back, you're like, no, man, Rhea Ripley is badass. You know what I mean? And she's hanging with the dudes. I think that this is as good as a run for a woman to be with guys as China.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I know that
yeah.
China was like kind of the first in terms of the dominant women amongst men, but the dynamics of Rhea Ripley is the fact that she can go in the ring, she can wrestle. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where China couldn't really, she didn't have the skill set and the wrestling ability as that Rhea Ripley. So she's developed this character, women amongst men, even better than what China did. Obviously, China will always be iconic. Sorry, R.I.P. But yeah, man, Rhea Ripley's on her way up, on
Yeah.
her way up. And then let's go to what we was all looking forward to seeing, the bloodline. Obviously, minus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is not always appearing on back-to-back shows and stuff like that. You know, he has his rest time and stuff. But we've got the main elements. We've got Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Jimmy, and Solo Sikoa. Was it Sequoia?
Sokoa.
Yeah, Sikoa. And obviously this is the victory. This is the victory party in it. So they've come back on Raw the next day. They come in to celebrate. Jay and Jey Uso and Sami Zayn obviously talking it out and explaining how they're feeling at the moment. We're getting some hugs in the group. Jay once again hugs Sami Zayn, shows obviously his affection now and obviously his appreciation to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn still getting loved out there, man. Massive pop for Sami Zayn. Even after there's another element of wrestling right now that I'm liking, and it's the post-match or post-event chats that they're having now. Like Paul Heyman is obviously was waxing lyrical about Sami Zayn and where he's at right now in terms of his character, and he was the guest star in a show, but now he's become the main or one of the main actors in the storylines now.
Yes.
And that's basically how he's developed. So they're all hugging in the ring, and then Kevin Owens comes out. Like, let me know how you felt about this promo.
Firstly, quickly to touch on Solo, I like what he does with his character, man. He's not about the hugs and all that. He just stands there, arms folded, like the very angry geography teacher, because everyone didn't do their homework on landmines and all that stuff. And then he's just fuming, just look at them like, really, and then he puts his hands down like he's about to hug them, like, oh, yo, and everyone's like, oh, hold on,
about to break.
Even him. Then the music hits. But what I like about this promo is it wasn't the whole Kevin Owens comes out and says, how can you do that to me, man? We've been bros for 20 years kind of thing. He said, bro, I'm done. Honestly, at this point, bun you, it's done. Hey, you know what? I'm really happy for you. Found a family. That's great. If you don't want to find a wife.
In fact, I've done this to you before as well, so I get it.
That's it. I get it. I get it. I need to do what I need to do to get my championship as you did to get family. Hey, listen, I'm happy for you. Do your thing, but I don't want to see you again. I don't want to tag with you again. I don't want to fight you again. We're done, man.
Don't want to jump in the cars together again.
Nah, never whipping together, man. Hey, yo, don't even shout me for Nando's. Listen, we're done here, man. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Jey Uso, hey, listen, I ain't done with you. You pinned me. at the match. I'll come kick your ass. Cool. Because I told you, man, from early, I'm coming for your cuz. I'm coming for the big dog. You know, Mr. Believe that. I think I forget he still says that. He still says that. I don't care about this head of the table stuff. But you, Sammy, after all this time, hey, cut it. It's done. And I liked it because usually it's the whole one of two things. They come out and they fight again, and it's beef, and it becomes a 4-on-1, and he's obviously outnumbered, so he's not going to do it. Or number two is the whole, like I said, how could you do that to me after 20 years of friendship? Blah blah. He's like, yeah, but you done it to me. And well, if he just said, listen, let's just cut it here. No more rivalry. Yeah. No more this. Obviously, I mean, I know there's rumors that those two will team up together to face the Usos at some point. I know there's rumors about that, and this is the thing that makes me excited by it, because if they somehow go from we're done, completely done, to somehow building a rivalry where those two come back together and do it well, we're on something special.
It would be a massive pop.
Exactly.
I like the Kevin Owens, and just like you said, obviously he's done with Sami Zayn, but he's very smart on what he's doing in terms of going to the right-hand man, which is Jey Uso. If you beat him, which he did, pinned him 1, 2, 3, got him back, and it's kind of showing Roman Reigns is like, yo, I just beat your right-hand man. So, you know, I've gave you that stunner. I almost beat you. I almost pinned you, should I say, in Survivor Series War Games. I beat your right-hand man. I'm after you now. That's a massive build-up.
Yeah, exactly. And this is what we want. It's about credible challenges again.
Yeah.
You know, I've kicked you right on the ass of your right-hand man, because arguably I could say that I had you beat. Sammy saved you, and then Sammy gave me a low blow. So it's, you know, he's the reason why you beat me. But if he's out of the way and I beat your right-hand man, and there's no one to back you in that ring when it comes to me versus you, who's going to stop me from beating you? Because you can even argue that match they had during lockdown, Paul Heyman saved Roman Reigns.
Yeah, you can bring that up as well. Yeah, you can bring that up.
So he has points to make where he's like, yo, you have people backing you. When are you going to face me truly one-on-one? When is it going to be me and you in the ring for me to deal with you? And this is what I like. Like, it's the small thing. So it was a great promo. They had a great match as well.
Yep.
At the end of the night as well. A great match. Nothing to complain about. I think the rivalry's going perfect. People, well, I said people. One name I mentioned earlier in particular that does podcast, no names, complained again about, where did they go from here? And I'm so tired. And Roman Reigns gets in the ring for 20 minutes and he walks for 10 of them. And I'm like, bro, shut up, man.
You don't understand. Whoever you are, you don't understand.
Honestly,
you don't understand the storytelling.
You're not getting it, and it baffles me because I'm a wrestling fan. These are supposed to be the experts, right? I'm like, enjoy what you're seeing here. You're seeing, firstly, a title run that we've not seen for many years. You're seeing rivalries within the family, because that's the very different twist we have. Like, he will defend the title against people, and the Usos will have rivalries with other people, as with Sammy, as with Solo. But within the family, when there's beef, and it's always a back and forth between two particular people, and it's tearing people apart, and but it's like you have to enjoy what's happening here, because rivalry like this, where a family, an actual family, is an incredible group, and they add this honorary member, and he's making things a bit awkward because one particular member of the family doesn't like him and trust him, but for some reason the main man still manages to keep his cool no matter what. He's in control of every situation, and everyone else just wants you to start your beef. And this is another thing, the fans weren't clamoring for Jey Uso versus Sami Zayn to fight each other. They were waiting for those two to come together. They hugged it out, and the crowd went nuts. They went nuts for a hug. Like, I don't know how you can't enjoy that. Me personally, I don't know how you can't enjoy it, man. I'm enjoying this. This is great. And when it ends, whenever it does end,
This
I'm gonna be
this is
happy.
the thing, man. Like, this is what is also just having me on the edge of my seat, is because you can't help but think to yourself, how does this unfold where there's a breakdown? Is it going to be the Usos that lose their titles first? Is it going to be a backstab from Sami Zayn? Or is Solo going to be involved in something? Like, who is going to take the title off Roman Reigns? Because, all great groups end. Evolution, DX, Nation of Domination. We've seen it all, man. They've all ended. But, like, how... I think I'm so interested in how they're going to tell this storyline. I don't like, even I feel like they even dropped the ball with how the Shield ended as well. Like, the way they ended, it was a bit.
You think so?
Yeah, man. I feel that they could have done a lot better with that. But I feel like Triple H right now, I trust him in how he's going to play this one out. I really do, man. And it is really going to be a moment where you're going to be like, oh my, what? And that's what I can't wait for. I can't wait for that. And then obviously with Raw, and what happened to Raw, Kevin Owens beating obviously Jey Uso. This is going to be a massive build up to SmackDown that's going to be coming this Friday. So we've got something to look forward to, because when the Tribal Chief comes on his show, the SmackDown, because I still believe that SmackDown is pretty much his show. He doesn't really care too tough about the Raw. But SmackDown, that's his show, and he's gonna really, I reckon he's gonna pull Jay to the side and be like, "Yo, hey, you can't be out here losing like this." You know what I mean? So it's gonna be very interesting to see what the dynamics is gonna be with that, man. But yeah, man, I'm obviously conscious about time, but I enjoyed Survivor Series War Games. I know you did. For those obviously that watched the main event, Survivor Series, let us know, man, in the comment section. Interact with us. Let us know how you felt about Survivor Series. Do you like or prefer the traditional Survivor Series, or did you enjoy the War Games element? And are you looking forward to more slight twists to main events like Royal Rumble or WrestleMania or SummerSlam? Let us know, man. Put your comments down below. And yeah, man, you can find us. Obviously, our tags are down there. Kojo, is that where they can find you on your tag there on the screen?
Yeah, Kojo Frame Midfield. I've made a conscious effort to use my own personal one a lot more now. So come and hit me up there.
Listen, we are both wrestling heads, man. I trust me and trust us. Like, if you ping us a comment about wrestling or whatever, we are prepared to chat about it. And if you've got any good questions or anything that you want to add to the show, we try and be as interactive as possible. And yeah, we'll chat about it on here. So the next show when it's going to be for us will be Friday, will be SmackDown. And then we'll obviously watch Raw. And then we'll be back next week, Wednesday, to obviously give you a recap and review of both shows on our show here. Do you still watch wrestling? As you know, we both do. And on a weekly basis, we chat about it, man. Any final words? Any final comments, Kojo?
Shout out Bailey.
Listen, we'll have a proper chat after these cameras are done. Bro, as always, man. All right, listen, I'm enjoying it. Listen, guys, this is our third show, man. And we've mentioned this before. We're just like, look, me and Kojo, we talk about wrestling all the time. Why not for us to bring it to you guys as well? And this is what we're doing, man. So we're loving it at the moment. This is episode 3 of Do You Still Watch Wrestling? Until the next time, guys, peace.